6 a.m. in the specific winter. The printer of the school numbers, the splinter of the weight, the center of the bed at 6 in the dark of December. The ember of the hope, the member of the family who remembered first and confirmed the snow, my mother, and the radio, the smother of the blanket, the other possible December morning. School smothered by the announced number, the avalanche of the free day, the branch of the possible that the ranch of the snow day opens an avalanche of the unscheduled, suddenly available, the day recoverable, the day returnable, the day entirely ownable. 8 hours of the unsupervised city, the gritty snow of the free day, the pretty arithmetic of nothing scheduled, the committee of the self-directed, the whole day belonging to the gray December snow, the bouquet of the school number announced 43 today. The snow day protocol, snow day protocol, snow day protocol, snow day protocol, the snow day protocol, the snow day protocol, snow day protocol, snow day protocol, snow day protocol, 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 protocol. Yeah. The protocol was specific once the number dropped. The prop, excitement, the shopping of the morning for the activities, the dropping of the indoor and the outdoor list, the corridor of the building empty by floor, notification, every door in the building new by 7, the 11 of the snow day and the 11 of the building, the heaven of the shared experience. Mrs. Okafor and 4 said no school today. The score of the confirmed, the lore of the snow day community. We wore the clothes that were wrong for the cold, the bowl underdressing of the 10-year-old. The cold arrived in the first 5 minutes, the thirst of the reality against the burst of you enthusiasm. The worst cold we've been in all winter, chosen the frozen morning of the free day, the frozen hands by 8:30, the broken protocol of the adequate clothing. We stayed till noon, loathing the return of the warmth, the clothing of the building's heat, the soothing return lunch back out, 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 back out. The snow day is the rarest gift the calendar gives. The lives of the children who lives in the schedule, the knives of the routine. Suddenly she 43, the announcement, the free, the specific snow day architecture. Radio 63 degrees of the warmth, the outdoor return, the lunch, the afternoon, the burn of the cold, the learning of the day without the structure. School number 43, pure, 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 pure. Snow day protocol, 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 snow day protocol. Radio was 6 December 43, the snow day protocol. Snow day protocol. Snow day protocol. The whole day free. 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 The specific gift.
Yo, yo, check the fuck out the fucking fix. Yo, stop, yo, the sub called in sick, and the whole floor heard it first period. The delirious word spread like a fever, the serious order of the day made mysterious. The sub called in sick, the classroom, the dome. Yo, by 8:47, the word had traveled 3 grades. No Mr. Patterson, the cascades of the implication, the blockades of the normal removed, the arcades of the behavior that the presence of the authority suppresses surface. The majority of the class became the minority who wanted order. The priority of the day inverted the sub, a small man named something who began the morning with the plan of the lesson on the board, the span of his authority measured in the first 5 minutes when the worst of us read the situation first, enacted the dispersed control of the classroom. The sub called in sick. 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 By the second period, it was philosophy, the geography of the power, the biography of the authority written in the photography of the response. The sub at the Daddy's invitation, Darius leading the disruption. Not malicious, just reading the room, the receding. Control of the substitute visible, in the risible. 12 sit-downs, the indivisible. Chaos of the 5th grade, the permissible. Expanded by the absence of the real. We all felt it, the deal of the authority was the heel of the present person, the real. Mr. Patterson was the order, the sub was the border, without a border. The sub called in sick. 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 By 3 o'clock, the guilt arrived, not the guilt of the destroyed day, the slot of the tomorrow, where Mr. Patterson got the full report, the knot of the consequence tightening by dismissal, the epistle of the sub's complaint, the whistle of the reckoning, the gristle of the Tuesday after the Monday feral. The sub called in sick, the natural, the consequence, the factual. Sub called in sick. The 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 sub called in sick. 8:47, 12, sit down, 3 o'clock. The sub called in sick. We felt it Tuesday.
The full speed, the syllable torrent. The full speed, the syllable torrent. The full speed, the full speed, your syllable tongue.
The torn arrives before the title gives a warning. The morning of the verses, the adorning of the bar with the performing precision of the maximum syllable, the informant of the listening and the conforming to the average pace is the morning of the potential, the norming down to the delivery is the boring. Of the tunnel to the predictable, I came with the incredible velocity of the edible line, consumable, the credible accumulation of the internal, the fraternal rhyme scheme of the internal return to the infernal density, the nocturnal practice of the rapid and supernal control of the tongue at maximum.
Broken silence, the verse arrives first, the immerse. Listener in the thirst of the syllable, the burst of the full speed from bar one. The worst is the held back, broken silence full first. The full speed, the syllable torrent. The full speed, the syllable torrent. The full speed, the full speed.
The multi-syllabic is the moral position of the oral, tradition the choral, publicity of the oral, architecture the floral, arrangement of the syllables in the formal, structure of the bar, the corporal, discipline of the temporal, control fast as the pastoral, responsibility of the literal, craft the peripheral, vision of the peripheral, rhyme picked up a speed, the empirical, evidence of the lyrical, is the delivery, the satirical, slow verse is the rhetorical, surrender of the maximum categorical, refusal of the average historical, record of the bar set high.
Broken silence, the verse arrives first, the immerse. Listener in the thirst of the syllable, the burst of the full speed from bar one. The worst is the held back, broken silence full first. Broken silence, the verse arrives first, the immerse. Listener in the thirst of the syllable, the burst of the full speed from bar one. The worst is the held back, broken silence full first. The full speed, the full speed, the syllable torrent. The full speed, the full speed, the syllable torrent. The full speed, the full speed, the full speed. Broken silence. Concrete tenure. Concrete tenure. Concrete tenure. Concrete tenure, I earned my chair at the table by staying 20 years on the same block as the label that buys authority. Ask me anything about the cable of this neighborhood. Concrete tenure, stable. The ones who stay have a different knowledge than the ones who visited. The college of the remain is a 20-year lodge in the same hallway with the same boiler and the same super and the same. 4 families on the 4th floor. The game of the state is accumulation. The unnamed expertise of the permanent resident. I know it's Step Creek's on the 5th floor. The president and up nothing but present for every precedent. The building set the evident authority of the state is in the details. Which fuse blows in July, the details of the super schedule, the curtails of the hot water on Sundays. The ones who move through don't know the runways of the building's real operation. 20 years is the certification. Tenure, tenure, concrete tenure, tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, tenure, tenure. They mistake staying for the failure to leave. False staying is the discipline to weave yourself into a structure until you achieve the permanent no standing. I grieve for nobody to stay. Have the archive of the building in the body I arrive at every situation pre-briefed by the hive of 20 years of watching the connective tissue of the block is the selective memory of the long-term resident, the protective knowledge of the corner who's effective, who performs the block's detective is the one who's been here long enough to read the whole room in the rough draft of a glance. Concrete tenure enough. Said 20 years is the stuff that builds a radar the newcomers lack. The permanent resident reads the track of the block the way the trained ear reads the track of the record tenure on the rack. Concrete tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, tenure, tenure. The authority I claim is earning winners, the splinters of the state, the tenors of the experience. 20 years of printers couldn't document what the body knows. Concrete tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, tenure, concrete tenure, tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, concrete tenure, 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 tenure. 20 years, same hallway, same step that creaks, concrete tenure, tenure, Corner booth cipher. 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 The five who matter. The scatter of the crowd's applause is the flatter that teaches nothing to batter. Corner booth cipher. Corner booth cipher. The five who matter. The scatter of the crowd's applause is the flatter that teaches nothing to batter. Corner booth cipher. I have 5 people whose opinion I trust. With the verse, the adjustment of the craft requires the robust honesty of the few. The dust of the general praise settles and reveals nothing youthful. The 5 who seals the verdict are the 5 whose appeals to the specific keep the wheels of the improvement turning. Jerome hears the timing, Willis hears the years of the reference. Keisha hears the tears in the performance, the gears of the emotional that the technical misses. Victor hears the hisses of the sibilants. Marcus hears the kisses of the lazy rhyme, the near misses that I've let slide. 5 is 5 specific critiques. The frontiers of the craft are in the corner booth where the 5 sit with the verse and tear it open to the specific. A corner booth cipher. A corner booth cipher. The 5 who matter. Corner booth cipher. 5 who matter. The scatter of the crowd's applause is the flatter that teaches nothing to batter. Booth cipher. Corner booth cipher. Yo, the crowd at the open mic claps at everything, encouraging and useless the ring of the undersun and the sting of Jerome saying bar 12 drags the thing that actually moves the craft forward. The awkward silence of the corner booth after the backward play of the new recording. The standard of the 5 is the only standard that matters. Keisha said the second verse scatters, pick a lane. The flatters of the open mic couldn't diagnose what batters. The verse in the shape, the specific note is the antidote to the comfortable. The devote of the time to the corner booth, the remote possibility that the 5 agree that's the day. The verse is done, the relay of the critique from ear to ear, the display of the specific corner booth, the assay. Corner booth cipher. Corner booth cipher. The 5 who matter. The scatter of the crowd's applause is the flatter that teaches nothing to matter. Corner booth cipher. The 5 who matter. The scatter of the crowd's applause is the flatter that teaches nothing to matter. Yeah. Yeah, the five don't agree often, the rare alignment is the flair of the finished corner booth, the chair of the honest affair, assessment that the world doesn't give. The five to sieve, the corner booth, I live for the specific, that's the give, that's the give, that's the give, that's the give, that's the give. A corner booth cypher, a corner booth, a corner booth, a corner booth, a corner booth cypher, corner booth cypher, the five who matter. A corner booth cypher, the five who matter. Jerome, Willis, Keisha, Victor, Marcus. A corner booth five is the only cypher that counts. Get out on the side. Get out on the side. Get out on the side. Yeah. The east side wrote itself in the body before the body had a word for the body. Education of the concrete, the Gaudi. Certificate of the formal education is the shoddy. Replica of the manuscript, the block. Produced in the same years, the clock. Of the two curricula running concurrent, the dot. Of the formal in it, informal, the rock. And the hard place of the simultaneous formation, the instantaneous assessment of the face and the miscellaneous curriculum of the stairwell, the extraneous detail that the school ignores is the primary text of the block. The visionary of the manuscript is the ordinary resident who reads it. The dictionary of the east side and the body. Eastside Manuscript. The block wrote the body before the body knew it. The add crew with it. Compounds the review with. Holds every scarf sentence. The east side true to it. Eastside Manuscript. The block wrote the body before the body knew it. The add crew with. Compounds the review with. Holds every scarf sentence. The east side true to it. The manuscript has chapters that the map doesn't show. The slow chapter of the January or overflow of the specific holding to the marrow, the glow of the summer chapter in the show disease. The no ledges, the body reading the season before. The calendar announces it, the lore of the east side manuscript is the core temperature reading of the survivor. The score of the graduated from the block's curriculum. The aquarium of the formal education is the maximum of the limited frame. The calcium of the actual formation is the east side manuscript. The broadside of the lived against the worldwide abstraction of the formula inside. Knowledge of the block is the manuscript. East side manuscript, east side manuscript. The block wrote the body before the body knew it. The add crew with. Compounds the review with. Holds every scar of sentence. The east side true to it. East side manuscript. The block wrote the body before the body knew it. The add crew with. Compounds the review with. Holds every scar of sentence. The east side true to it. Every block has a manuscript and every resident has a different chapter. The precedent of the shared text, the president of the shared formation, the evident curriculum of the east side written in the body. Every guide is the specific block, the wide reading of the single address, the tried and tested manuscript, the east side manuscript. The block, the body manuscript. Compounds the review with. East side manuscript, east side manuscript. The block, the body manuscript. Compounds the review with. Holds every scar a sentence. The east side true to it. East side manuscript. 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 And with the focus. And with the focus, I can make it feel bad. And with the focus, I can make it feel bad. And with the focus, I can make it feel bad. The iron dividend arrives in years, not quarters. A mortar of the patience in the compound. Interest of the craft, the background of the invisible decade before the sound. Arrives in rooms that matter the profound. Simplicity of the long investment. Every session a deposit, the sequestered. return accumulating in the registered account of the catalog. The sequestered craft appreciates in the unremarkable hours of the practice, the unmarkable sessions before the remarkable becomes available. The remarkable is the visible interest on the remarkable invisible principle. Focus, I can make it feel I'm dividend, the return on the unremoved years, the gears of the compound, the frontiers, the practice, the arrears of the invested iron dividend, the arrears paid. The account statement of the craft is the catalog. Every entry, the dialogue between the invested hour and the analog. Return the monologue of the patient is the epilogue of the crowd's attention span. The prologue of the respected is the decalogue of the invisible practice. The pedagogue of the craft is the compound. The mound of the sessions before the sound of the acknowledgement, the background, the day before the foreground, moment the underground, practice before the overground, recognition the playground of the invested is the found. Return on the iron dividend. Return on the iron. Return on the iron. Return on the iron dividend. Return on the iron. Return on the iron. Return on the iron dividend. Return on the iron dividend. I am of the farmers, I don't like this feel I am of the farmers, I don't like this feel The dividend arrives when the account is full. The pull of the invested, the bull market of the practice, the whole of the built catalog. The lull before the arrival is the lull of the compounding. Iron dividend, the full account. The rest ended. Doubt the dividend. I am on the focus, I can make it feel I am the bin. I am on the focus, I can make you feel I am the bin. I am on the focus, I can make you feel I am on the focus, I am on the focus, I can make you feel I am the bin. I am focus. I can make you feel The invisible decade, the compound, the iron dividend, the account settled, every session counted.
Drop the light down for the way for you ride. Put up, my light there. Put up, my light there. Put up, my light there. For the way for you fat on land.
Jerome was on the corner Tuesday eating a hero sandwich, laughing at something Rashid said. The language of the block in full effect, the bandage of the ordinary day advantage of the Tuesday is nobody marks it dangerous. Jerome at $20 and a plan for the night. The fight was later. I passed him at about 4:45. He said, what up? I said, what up? The drive of the evening ahead of us. I took the infant fan north. Jerome stayed on the corner of the scene. Ordinary and unremarkable routine. Tuesday of the Bronx, the scene. Hit 1,000 times Tuesday to between. Monday and Wednesday, Tuesday to serene. Unforgettable Tuesday, I heard about it at 11 that night. Jerome's last Tuesday, nobody knew it. The ordinary day, he walked through it. Same as every other, nobody drew it. Different last Tuesday, nobody knew it. Yo, they said it was over something small. The hall of the building, the wrong glance. The call of the pride that the block will install. And the man until the pride is all. There is the stall of the conversation, the protocol of the street malfunction, the sprawl of the consequence from the small till the permanent in minutes. Jerome was 23, the minutes of the Tuesday that the summit of the ordinary contains. Nobody tells you it's Tuesday reigns as the last one that stains on the sourdough remains of the hero sandwich on the curb. I keep the last Tuesday like a verb in the present tense. Jerome in the corner eating his hero, the chrome of the ordinary afternoon, the dome of the Tuesday sky above the Bronx, the tome of the unremarkable day. Jerome's last Tuesday, nobody knew it. The ordinary day, he walked through it. Same as every other, nobody drew it. Different last Tuesday. North up, drop the light, north. I take the infant time, north different now. The vow of the Tuesday, the plow of the ordinary somehow. The unremarkable day is the one. Jerome 23, Tuesday done to block the hero, the sun. Jerome's last Tuesday. Jerome's last Tuesday, no Tuesday. The ordinary day, he walked through it. Same as every other, nobody. Jerome's last Tuesday.
Load up, the light down. Load up, the light down.
Quarter to 5, infant time, north. What up? Jerome's last Tuesday. What? Walk Jerome's last Tuesday.
Get down. The version that precedes, the version that between the 7th and 8th floor, the seeds of the verse get planted in the echo of the leads and the landing stairwell draft, the thing that feeds the thing. Stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft.
The apartment is 6 people in one volume. Loud, the column of the quiet doesn't exist in the solemn. Less space of the family, the problem of the writer in the crowded apartment is the compartment of the silence. I found the department of the quiet between floors 7 and 8. The landing where the stairwell bends and the state of the echo changes the freight of the building's noise reduces at that gate to a manageable hum. I write in the late hours on that landing, the pen and the debate between the line and the revision, the weight of the word tested against the echo of the stairwell. I let go of the verse into the concrete below, and if it bounces right, the flow is correct. The stairwell is the studio. Yeah, though, stairwell draft, the version that precedes, the version between the 7th and 8th floor. The seeds of the verse get planted in the echo of the leads and the landing stairwell draft, the thing that feeds the thing. Stairwell draft, the version. The draft nobody sees is the infrastructure of the verse you hear to puncture in the ego. That the junction of the fail line provides the function of the stairwell is to hold the ugly. First attempts to snugly fitted final version smugly hides the 17 drafts that uglily preceded it. I crossed out more than I kept. The landing between 7 and 8 has wept with the ink of the abandoned. I've slept on that landing once when the verse crept into the 4 AM zone. The adept writer is the one who accepts the volume of the deleted, the precepts of the craft. For every verse you hear, the steps that led to it are invisible. The stairwell holds them, the fail line to the fail line is the parallel track that runs underneath the carousel of the revision turning on the landing. Yeah, stairwell draft, the version that precedes, the version that between the 7th and 8th floor. The seeds of the verse get planted in the echo of the leads and the landing stairwell draft. First the prestige, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft. Between 7 and 8, the echo is specific, the scientific essence of the stairwell, the prolific landing of the work and the terrific anonymity of the draft stairwell, the parallel, the farewell to the imperfect. That's the work, that's the direct stairwell draft. The version that precedes, the version that between the 7th and 8th floor. The seeds of the verse get planted in the echo of the leads and the landing stairwell draft. The thing that feeds the thing. Stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, stairwell draft, draft for trees. The landing between 7 and 8, the pen, the echo, stairwell draft, always.
The catalog standard. The catalog standard. The catalog standard.
Catalog standard. Every verse is permanent record. The second is the one that's beckoned by the first. The catalog second. Nature is the record. Consistency, the catalog standard.
The verse outlives the session by the ratio of the care taking the radio of the moment fades the audio of the specific craft. The cameo of the careless disappears in the video of the retrospect. The stereo of the catalog standard is the Romeo and Juliet of the maid versus the portfolio of the attempt at the bar. Permanent from the moment of the scar of recording every star of the catalog was once a jar of the anxiety. Will this hold? The hold is in the cold precision of the chosen word, the gold of the specific over the bold gesture of the approximate 20 years. Later the catalog appears, and the verse that was made with the gears of the maximum stands in the arrears of the lazy revealed themselves the standard set at the
standard is the standard of the permanent. Every bar standard, bearer of the craft, the hand, delivered intelligence of the plan, precision the land of the catalog, of the catalog, of the catalog, catalog, of the catalog, the catalog, the DITC standard is the standard of the permanent. Every bar a standard, bearer of the craft, the hand, delivered intelligence of the plan, precision the land of the catalog is the span, decades, the command of the specific, still valid, the grand jury of the retrospective, still finding a directive of the craft and the detective work of the ball, the collective memory is under being burst and corroded, convenience of the approximate corroded by the permanence of the loaded bar. I set the bar at the maximum because the minimum is the posthumous embarrassment of the sloppy, floppy, floppy, floppy. The catalog standard, catalog standard, catalog standard, catalog standard, catalog standard. Standard. The catalog standard, every bar, no trades. Every verse permanent record, the catalog standard. That's the only standard. Yo, the Tenure as the craft. 40 minutes each way. The verse built between stations. The relay of the thought between Queensbridge and Broadway. The Commute as the craft. The hallway of the delay. The E train from Queens to Midtown is 40 minutes of capture time. The limits of the pup, you are the limits of the verse. The visit to the page happens in the moving room of the train. The bloom of the idea at Queensbridge. The doom of the revision at Lexington. The boom of the landing at 53rd. The craft of the commuter poet. The draft completed in transit. The shaft of the tunnel as the paragraph. The station as the stanza break I write. In the space between the light of the platform and the night of the tunnel. The sight of the notebook on the need, a pen moving with the sway of the train. The din of the public studio. The win of the verse determined by the MTA schedule. Commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. The commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. The discipline of the commute is the discipline of the craft. Both require the medicine of the routine. The Bedouin of the moving room. The specimen of the dedicated. Same seat, same car, same 40 minutes. The radar of the habit, the avatar of the commuter. Writer is the far end of the last car where the crowd thins. My office, the winds of the review are in the bins of the finish. The verse that begins at Queensbridge and ends at 53rd has the specific rhythm of the transferred body in motion. The word carries the sway of the train. The stirred coffee of the morning commuting. The verse, the nurse of the routine. The curse and the blessing of the 40 minutes. The rehearse of the life in transit. The verse as the evidence of the commute. The diverse stations as the chapters. The converse of the wasted time. The commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. Yo, commute as the craft. Yo, commute as the craft. Yo, commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. 40 minutes is a verse, 80 minutes a day, 400 minutes a week. The relay of commute builds the catalog, the display of the discipline, the E train, the hallway. The commute as the craft, that's what I came to say. Commute as the craft. No, commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. Yo, commute as the craft. Commute as the craft. Queensbridge, the 53rd, the notebook on the knee, the sway of the train in the verse, the commute as the craft every day.
Yo, Mrs. Chen was at the crossing every morning since first grade. The jade of the orange vest, the arcade of the familiar, the decade of the same corner. Mrs. Chen, the crossing grade, the morning she wasn't there. The rhythm of the crossing is the rhythm of the safe. The chafe of the traffic held back the chafe of the November wind. The safe passage of the orange vest. Mrs. Chen had been on the corner of the Glen and the avenue since whenever. The den of the childhood's institutional, the pen of the permanent in the register of the familiar every semester of school mapped against a semester of a presence, the festa of the crossing guard's routine as architecture, the structure of the morning built around her, the rupture of the normal when she wasn't there, the rupture reading as immediate catastrophe. At 8 years old, the philosophy of the crossing guard's absence is the geography of the dependency, the demography of the school-age child is the live infrastructure, the arrive certainty of the orange vest, the deprived morning. Without it, we survive the crossing without her. Look both ways, the haze of the adult knowledge. She retired the days of the crossing guard, counted the grays of the ordinary loss. Mrs. Chen was at the crossing every morning since first grade. The jade of the orange vest, the arcade of the familiar, the decade of the same corner. Mrs. Chen, the crossing grade. The morning she wasn't there, Mrs. Chen was at the crossing, the crossing, the crossing. The jade of the orange vest, the arcade of the familiar, the decade of the same corner. Mrs. Chen, the crossing page. There was a new person Tuesday, younger, different vest. The quest of the unfamiliar in the manifest of the morning. We assess the new crossing guard with the bias style, the previous, the defiance of the comparison, the alliance of the former against the science of the new Mrs. Chen. Knew our names, the games of the new crossing guard, the claims of the replacement against the frames of the original by October. We like the sober adjustment of the child to the October replacement, the October turnover of the institutional familiar. Mrs. Chen had been particular in the knowing, the spectacular memory of the regular child. The new one learned names by November, December. She knew everyone, the ember of the Mrs. Chen particular, cooled into the new familiar. Mrs. Chen was at the cross every morning since first grade. The jade of the orange vest, the arcade of the familiar, the decade of the same corner. Mrs. in the crossing grade. Morning she wasn't there. Mrs. Chen was at the crossing, the crossing, the crossing. The jade of the orange vest, the arcade of the familiar, the decade of the same corner. Mrs. Chen, the crossing grade. We saw Mrs. Chen once at the supermarket in January. The ordinary shock of the institutional made ordinary, appearing in the visionary civilian context. She was just a woman, the acumen of the adult reading. She was illumined by the orange vest and the acumen of the corner. Mrs. Chen, the crossing, the morning, the orange, the crossing. Mrs. Chen was at the cross, at the crossing, the crossing. Mrs. Chen was at the cross, at the crossing, the crossing. At the crossing, the crossing. Orange vest every morning since first grade. The morning she wasn't there, Mrs. Chen, the crossing, the crossing, the crossing, the crossing, the crossing,
Playback, roll your balls, playback. Playback, roll your balls, playback. From a real studio, recording the convocation with your own sound. Target length, target length, target length. The playback, the first time I heard my own voice coming through the monitors, I had a choice. Accept what I actually sound like or pretend. The playback, that's where the real begins. The playback, the engineer hit play and the room filled with a voice I didn't recognize. The skill, the version of myself that I'd imagine killed by the actual recording, the distilled truth of the playback is the confrontation with the gap between the internal sensation of your voice and the external presentation. I thought I sounded like the masters, the station of my confidence took a hit. In that room the monitor doesn't edit the deficiency, it transmits the exact distance between the vision and the execution of precision of the playback is a surgical incision into the ego, the provision of the truth that the cipher doesn't give you. The cipher has the room's energy to forgive you. The imprecision, the studio is a sieve that separates the perform from the live. The playback, all the rules playback. The playback, the playback, all the rules playback. The engineer, a man named Willis who recorded 100 sessions and afforded no diplomatic cushion. Said distorted truth, your timing drifts on bar 9 recorded. Evidence on the screen, the waveform doesn't lie. The brainstorm of the excuses I prepared died in the transform of the visual proof, the uniform discipline of the beat exposed. The amateur in me I composed myself in that chair closed. My eyes said play it again. The opposed forces of the pride and the evidence settled into something useful. The residence of the specific critique, the prevalence of the general praise I received, and the benevolence of the cipher was worth less than Willis pointing at bar 9. The distress of the specific is the progress. I re-recorded 7 takes. The address of the improvement was in the repetition of the playback on the war playback. The playback. The playback on the war playback. Take 7 was the one Willis nodded once. The response of the professional is the nuance. One nod, the renaissance of the craft happens in the playback. That's the feedback, the setback that built the playback. The fact, the playback on the war playback. Built the playback. The playback. Take 7 bar 9, corrected Willis nodded. The playback is the only teacher that matters. The playback on the war playback. Yeah, I'm old Sebi. Yeah, Yo, the weight of the proven is heavier than the claim. The name that even pulls different from the frame. The aspiration that you claim is to perform. The weight of the proven in the name, but earn the whole game. The proven has a density that the claim lacks. The tracks of the actual against the racks of the potential. The tax of the proof is the years before the credit. Arrives the edit of the resume, reset it and did it. Only one of those merits. The weight of the proven is not the volume of the statement. The magnum of the claim, the flagrant assertion of the self, the program of the proven is the accumulated specific. The terrific silences of the deliveries. The prolific record of the arrived. The scientific weight of the actual in the room. The weight of the proven, 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 the weight of the proven. The room reads it before you introduce yourself. The stealth of the proven reputation, the wealth of the accumulator specific, the health of the long-term delivery. The bookshelf of the actual is the self that walks in. The elf of the perform scatters on the shelf when the proven arrives. The disproof of the claim by the actual, the roof of the aspiration measured against the aloof weight of what's been done. The sleuth work of the room is automatic. The pragmatic assessment of the dramatic entrance against the emblematic record of the actual. The schematic of the proven is always the systematic check of delivery over promise. The weight of the proven, 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 the weight of the proven. The claim costs nothing, the proof costs years. The gears of the long game, the arrears of the invested, the frontiers of the done. The weight of the proven, the covenants of the chosen. That's what's spoken. The weight of the proven, the weight of the proven, the weight of the proven, the weight of the proven. The claim costs nothing, the proof costs years. The weight of the proven, every room reads it. Yeah. Gray skies been gray since October. The sober, rid of the season. Nothing changes. The ranges of the project windows all the same gray. The day of the week is a theory on this block. I clock the shift change at the corner the way other men clock the work week. Same discipline, a million small decisions of the daily survival. The rival of the comfortable is not a person. The version of the threat is environmental. The mental tax of the surveil address. The stress is not the event. The stress is the concept.
constant. Gray skies over Queensbridge, Gray skies over Queensbridge, Gray skies over Queensbridge, Gray skies over Queensbridge. I know who's in which building by the light patterns. The Saturn of my orbit is complex. These buildings, the yielding of the outside to the inside knowledge, the college of the specific address. I confess the outside doesn't read this block correctly. The directly experienced versus the reported. Two different blocks with the same address. The stress of the reported is the event. The torment of the lived is the weather. Permanent, ambient, the sentiment of the visited is sympathy. The empathy of the lived in is different weight entirely. Gray skies over Queensbridge, gray skies over Graysbridge, gray skies over Graysbridge, gray skies over Queensbridge. Yo, March means nothing changes to June. The rune of the winter in the project, the object of the season's pressure. Us, the gust of the corridor, wind between the buildings, the yielding of the body to the specific architecture, the capture of the wind in the corridor design. The fine engineering of the project complex produces the corridor wind. I bend into it, walk into the store, the floor of the lobby. Same cold in March as January. The primary reality of the project winter. The gray is not a mood, it's the address. Gray skies over Queensbridge, 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 gray skies over Queensbridge. Alert as the baseline, not paranoid, accurate. Two different blocks with the same address. The gray is not a mood, it's the address. A gray is not a mood, it's the address. March means nothing changes to June.
The snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. The seeker of the school number, the keeper of the breath until they rat at the sleeper. Who becomes awake becomes free. School number 43, school number 43. Snow day, the whole day free. The radio at 6 a.m. in the specific winter. The printer of the school numbers, the splinter of the weight, the center of the bed at 6 in the dark of December. The ember of the hope, the member of the family who remembered. First and confirmed the snow, my mother. And the radio, the smother of the blanket. The other possible December morning. School smothered by the announced number. The avalanche of the free day. The branch of the possible that the ranch of the snow day opens an avalanche of the unscheduled suddenly available. The day recoverable, the day returnable, the day entirely ownable. 8 hours of the unsupervised city, the gritty snow of the free day, the pretty arithmetic of nothing scheduled. The committee of the self-directed, the whole day belonging to the great December snow. The bouquet of the school number announced 43 today.
The snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. The snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. The snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. The snow day protocol, protocol.
The protocol was specific once the number dropped. The prop, excitement, the shopping of the morning for the activities. The dropping of the indoor and the outdoor list. The corridor of the building empty by the floor. By floor notification, every door in the building knew by 7. The living of the snow day in the living of the building. The heaven of the shared experience. Mrs. Okafor and 4 said no school today. The score of the confirmed, the law of the snow day community. We wore the clothes that were wrong for the cold. The bold underdressing of the 10-year-old. The code arrived in the first 5 minutes. The thirst of the reality against the burst of the enthusiasm. The worst cold we've been in all winter. Chosen, the frozen morning of the free day. The frozen hands by 8:30. The broken protocol of the adequate clothing. we stayed till noon, loathing the return of the warmth, the clothing of the building's heat, the soothing. Return lunch back out.
A brass slab, alone, bass on one kick, hard vinyl snare too.
The snow day is the rarest gift the calendar gives. The lives of the children who lives in the schedule. The knives of the routine suddenly sheathed. 43, the announcement, the free, the specific snow day architecture. Radio 63 degrees of the warmth, the outdoor, the return, the lunch, the afternoon, the burn of the cold, the learning of the day without the structure. School number 43 pure.
Snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. The snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. The snow day protocol, radio at 6, ear to the speaker. Snow day protocol, radio at 6.
This December 43. Snow day protocol. Snow day, the whole day free. The specific gifts.
The sub called it sick, and the whole floor heard it first period. The delirious, words spread like a fever. The serious, order of the day made mysterious by the substitute who couldn't hold the room. To the sub called it sick, the classroom the doom.
By 8:47, the word had traveled 3 grades. No Mr. Patterson, the cascades of the implication, the blockades of the normal, remove the arcades of the behavior that the presence of the authority suppresses surface. The majority of the class became the minority who wanted order. The priority of the day inverted. The sub, a small man. Name something who began the morning with the plan of the lesson on the board. The span of his authority measured in the first 5 minutes when the worst of us read the situation first and acted to disperse control of the classroom. The sub called it sick, and the whole floor heard it first period. The delirious, words spread like a fever. The serious, order of the day made mysterious by the substitute who couldn't hold the room. The sub called it sick, the classroom the doom. By the second period, it was philosophy, the geography of the power, the biography of the authority, written in the photography of the response. The sub at the board saying sit down 12 times with the diminishing crown of the credibility, the renown of the powerless visible, the frown of the attempted authority, reading his invitation. Darius leading the disruption, not malicious, just reading the room, the receding control of the substitute visible, in the risible. 12 sit downs, the indivisible, chaos of the 5th grade, the permissible, expanded by the absence of the real. We all felt it, the deal of the authority was the hill of the present person, the real. Mr. Patterson was the order, the sub was the border, without a border. The sub called in sick, and the whole floor heard it first period. The delirious, words spread like a fever. The serious, order of the day made mysterious by the substitute who couldn't hold the room. The sub called it sick, the classroom the doom. By 3 o'clock the guilt arrived, not the guilt of the destroyed day, the slot of the tomorrow when Mr. Patterson got the full report, the night of the consequence tightening by dismissal, the epistle of the sub's complaint, the whistle of the reckoning, the gristle of the Tuesday after the Monday feral. The sub called it sick, the natural, the consequence, the factual. The sub called it sick. 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 I called it sick. The sub called it sick. 8:47, 12 sit downs, 3 o'clock. The sub called in sick. We felt it Tuesday.
From the 9th floor, everything is theory. The weary removal of the elevation.
The summation of the block from above is different intelligence. The silence of the ninth floor view is the editorial distance. I've been watching the block from 9 for 6 years. The gears of the block visible from above. The love and the transaction and the confrontation. From the elevation legible, the terrible separation of the observer from the observed. I know the block from above, the dove of the removed. Watching the actual is both. I live in both simultaneously. Project window, the ninth floor view, the residue of the elevator perspective, the detective, rid of the block from above, the shove of the ground level into the theory. Project window, the ninth floor view, the residue of the elevator perspective, the detective, rid of the block from above, the shove of the ground level into. I watched the corner change management twice from this window. The widow of the prior arrangement, empty on a Tuesday. The reading of the block's political succession from elevation. The nation of the transaction from above is legible. Who moved where, who disappeared. The clear corner of the Tuesday morning. The morning after the incident reads clearly from 9. I dine on the specific intelligence of the elevated, the weighted view from above. I see the rotation, the summation of the 9th floor observation. I know the block's pattern like a calendar. Project window, the 9th floor view, the residue of the elevated perspective, the detective, rid of the block from above, the shove of the ground level into the theory. Project window. The block doesn't know I'm watching. The clocking of the specific from the anonymous height. The light of the 9th floor is the unobserved observer. The farther from the action, the more complete the picture. I mix the elevated view with the ground level knowledge. The college of the both perspectives. The senses of the complete intelligence. Ground level texture plus elevation pattern. I flatten, neither I carry both. The 9th floor sees what the corner can't. The corner feels what the 9th floor can't. I live in both. Project window, the 9th floor view, the residue of the elevated perspective, the detective of the block from above, the shove of the ground level into the theory. Project window, the 9th floor view, the residue of the elevated perspective, the detective of the block from above, the shove of the ground level into the theory. I live in both. 9th floor and the corner.